Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to talk about something that seems really simple but can actually make or break a room. Color beige seems like the safest choice, right? But not all beige is created equal. Some have yellow undertones, some lean towards pink, and if you're not careful, it can literally clash with your floors, your furniture, and even the lighting. In today's video, I'm breaking down how to pick the right beige so your space feels more warm, cohesive, and at the same time effortless. Beige seems like a one-size-fits-all backdrop. It's neutral, or at least it's supposed to be, but the more I work with it, the more I realize that it's not that straightforward. Undertones matter, and the wrong one can, trust me, totally shift the feel of a room. Beige is not a universal neutral, and it's definitely not boring. It's just misunderstood. Light beige or off-whites can feel soft and balanced, but they all come with undertones. And if by any chance you overlook those, you'll end up having a wall color that totally clashes with your floor or your sofa. Your flooring, trim, and lighting, they all play a role in how a beige will actually look in your space. Some beiges lean yellow or pink, while others have gray, green, or even taupe undertones. And you guys, designers don't select beige, they select the right beige because they always test in context. If you look at two neutrals individually, they'll look safe, but if their undertones clash, they can cancel each other out or create tension in the room. You know what happens? The beige that looked soft and calming in the store can turn peach in your bedroom or look muddy brown the moment sunlight hits. Beige is really tricky, but once you find the right beige, it's a game changer. You can use it across your whole home and everything just feels more intentional and cohesive. What I love about traditional Middle Eastern interiors is that they don't rely on flat beige. You will see sandstone, travertine, clay, or even lime wash, all with their own warmth and personality. Even in the same house, you will see warm clay on one wall and chalky limestone on another, and of course based on light, temperature, and energy of the room. And honestly, I learned this the hard way. The beige I picked in the showroom, I really loved it, and I was so sure about that beige that it will look fabulous. But once it was all on the walls in the living room, everything changed. My wood furniture looked red, my curtains fell off, and the whole space didn't feel right. That was a big lesson for me. So now I always test my beiges next to the flooring, next to the furniture, and to the different times of the day. And I always recommend my clients to do the same because it makes such a difference. And you guys, you can always refer to my lookbook for ideas and inspirations. The link is in the description. It is something which I picked up early on when I started working with interiors, is that because the color is light does not mean it will bring peace into your room. For the longest time, I thought pale is equals peaceful. So I would reach for the softest shades, thinking they would create this cozy, serene vibes. But some of those colors, they ended up feeling cold and flat. So what I realized is that calm does not come with pale or soft colors. It comes with balance. It comes from how your paint color works with the rest of the room, your flooring, your lighting, your texture. When there is no contrast or depth, any type of beige can start to feel blur and non-interesting. And the type of calm you were looking for, it kind of disappears. You might have seen those really muted beiges in Scandinavian or Japanese spaces, and they do it beautifully. But if you look closely, it's not about just the color. There is always texture, natural materials, and subtle contrast kind of weaved in. That's what makes a space feel warm and intentional. And honestly, that idea is not new. Traditional Middle Eastern homes have been doing these from ages. Old riots and desert homes used warm toned plaster walls, olive wood, and natural stones, not because it was trendy, just because it felt right. The calm didn't just come from the color, it came the way light moved across textures, how the material softened and aged over time, and how everything in the space just felt grounded and lived in. Okay, so this one is a bit controversial, using beige throughout your house. It does not automatically make everything feel connected. I know a lot of design advice says just pick one neutral, repeat it everywhere, and your home will feel polished and cohesive. And while that can work, here's my take on it. Cohesion is not about making every room look the same. It's about creating a flow that lets each space tell its own story. Sometimes that means using the same tone, yes, but other times it means choosing the shade that works well with the light. And it's okay if it looks a little bit different than the room next door. And you guys, true cohesion is not about symmetry, it's about intention. In so many older Middle Eastern homes, every room has its own vibe. You might walk into a space and feel that deep, sun-baked terracotta warmth. Then move into another with cool marble floors or a beautiful patterned rug that's been there in the family for decades. Each room has this personal, collected, and lived-in vibe. That's the kind of connection I want my home to feel like. But honestly, for the longest time I was doing it all wrong. I would pick colors because they look good on Pinterest or because they were the light neutral palettes. Everything matched and the color palette was safe to play with. It looked nice, I was getting appreciations also, but to me it always felt like a bit off. Like the room didn't really have a soul. It wasn't until I started bringing in tones and textures of the places where I've lived in. Dubai, US, my family's home growing up. That was the point when everything started to click. And here is the part no one actually talks about enough, is that when you stop decorating for things to just look pretty and instead ask yourself, what do I want to remember here? What part of my story lives here? That's when your home starts to feel layered and meaningful, not just styled. So next time when you're picking a color or trying to play it safe, just ask yourself, is this really me? Because the right beige is not about following trends. It's about how you feel when you walk through the door. That's it, you guys. I hope you found this video helpful, and I'll see you next time.